Yeah.
I've done this business for 6 years. We've done transactions
Right.
far exceeding $10 million.
Right.
No one single person has ever said, I put my money in AjoPro
And I
and it
couldn't
lost.
cash out.
No one person. AjoPro has helped a lot of people. I'm telling you, sometimes I get calls and that will just make me feel like,
Almost crying.
like we're doing something great in the
Yeah.
community.
Right.
Recently, someone called me from Toronto and was just praying. She was just praying.
Wow.
You can't stop Nigerian mother from praying. You just leave them. So she just keep praying. And I got tired. I'm like, okay, just calm down, Kim. After that prayer, she said her name, and she said, I just want to tell you that my son just graduated from University of Toronto today.
Look
And
at
he had
that.
told me that he used something you created in Canada called AjoPro
To be able to fund this.
to fund his school.
Oh,
And I'm like,
look at
wow,
that.
is that why you're calling me?
Look at that.
And imagine the number of people who have paid their down payment
Look at
on their
that.
houses. 274 last 2 years, right? This year we've not counted, but surely it's been more than 300. Frankly, the first one is always tough.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, there's no other way around it.
Right.
Like, people don't know you, they can't give you their money.
Sure.
So it's going to be tough to get the first one up.
Yeah.
But the second one will be faster. Yeah. Took me my own personal savings, my wife's personal savings, my friend who trusted me,
Right.
Topo Otubusu,
Right.
and our partner, Dare Pena, to trust us with their money, with our money to start AjoPro.
Fantastic.
Right? But if you look at Butter Place, I pinned down 10 people to raise $100,000 to start Butter Place.
Yeah.
By the time I met the fourth person, the money is raised. So I had to write
that's-
email to the rest that, sorry, I don't need the money again.
Look
I've
at
already
that.
met my target. I like building a team.
Great.
If you look at most of the businesses that I run, most people don't even know me. They know people who we are working together,
Look at
right? I think that's a very powerful thing, to have, the second side of you,
True.
right? Steve Wozniak, right, wasn't a great salesman, but he was the one that built Mac,
I love
right?
that.
But Steve Jobs is a great salesman, the one that people know about Apple. When they talk
The
about
face of
Apple,
the-
they'll say,
yeah.
oh, it's Steve Jobs, but actually the person that built the software is Steve Wozniak, right? So I like that story, and I use it most of the time, right? I have good friends who have helped me in my businesses more. If you look at, most people know Abiola Razak more than I do in AjoPro.
Right.
And if you look at,
Operation-wise.
and if you look at Butter, most people know my friend Tolu Davids more than they know me, right? It's just pattern that I built over time. I give my trust to people, and I expect people to trust me.
Yeah. Faulty childhood.
Yeah, that's usually emotional for me when I talk about it, when people ask me about that, because it's usually like, it's not what people expect when they ask me, oh, why business? Why do you like business? Like, why this? It's poverty. Poverty is a disease. It's not a good thing.
Right. But it can be a great motivator
It's
sometimes.
a great motivation.
I love
for
that.
me. So, I grew up in a place where everything you can see is poverty. But books transformed me,
Great.
and I decided I wanted to be different.
Fantastic.
So right from young, I've always tried to push myself out of that poverty.
Great.
And I found out that irrespective of where you are, you can do great things if you have that ambition, and I follow it seriously. Tell your story. So my brother, God rest his soul, is dead now. He would tell me, Akeem or Lenny. You said I'm very lazy. He would tell you that he's writing software, or he's talking. What kind of thing? Who does that? This is just too lazy. When I went to Lagos Marina to sign the contract for Total. It was 5.5 million.
Look
And
at
I came
that.
back to my Facebook, and I put on my Facebook that today I signed a contract with Total for my cooperative software, 5.5 million. The first person that kind of,
Interacted with that.
was my brother.
Oh my God! Akeem is no longer lazy. He's paying off.
So I know that you're going to make us proud.
Look at that! Narrative is changing. We're joined today by a serial entrepreneur, a tech leader, and a community builder, Akeem Adebisi. I am super excited to have you with me in the studio. And for the benefit of people that have met you or interacted with any of your work, can you please introduce yourself to the viewers?
Okay, hi everyone. My name is Akeem Adebisi. I run Rakumi, the parent company of AjoPro, and then Ready Made Solution, the parent company of Butter Place. So thank you so much.
Wow, great. And it's so much of a pleasure, again, like I said, to have someone like you in the studio. I am personally thrilled with a lot of steps and strides that you have taken, especially in the African community. I was reading up a news on CBC News, and there was a thread regarding your financial app that you launched in 2019, which is AjoPro, that have given a lot of visibility to savings within the community and also providing interest free or portable. I know, yes, people kind of like pay a little token for the utilization of that credit, but nothing compared to a typical interest. In fact, I don't even like to call it interest. I think it's just something to compensate for a little positioning on the rotation savings arrangement. Yeah. So what really thrilled me is the fact that that product was launched in 2019 and you arrived Canada in 2015. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, such a giant stride in 4 years when some people are barely trying to settle in and even battle with survivor, like you are already taking giant stride. Can you tell us a little behind the scene? What led to this great achievement in barely 4 years?
Well, that's a very good question.
Yeah, thank you. We want to know.
Yeah, I mean, like we usually say that if you are a lizard in Nigeria, right, you cannot become an alligator in Canada or the US, right? So
I love that.
yeah, I've always been an entrepreneur.
Great.
It runs in my blood, it's in my DNA, it's in the family DNA.
Wow.
So
so it's not a thing of today.
Not a thing of today.
I love that.
Yeah, so I started my first company when I was 25 at the university.
Wow.
Yeah, BG Megasoft Consult Limited. When I was doing NYSC, I started another company when I was there, teaching NYSC students how to use the computer.
Wow.
And sold the company when I left NYSC. And then
you have been selling company even right from OMG. We have a lot to learn.
Yeah. And then I started a new firm when I was in Port Harcourt, Cookbook. That Cookbook became one of the first major software for cooperative societies in Nigeria, online cooperative software. Yeah.
Wow. What year was that?
That was 2012, I guess.
Wow.
That software became major cooperative software in Nigeria, used by giant companies like PPMC, Total, EY, NS and Young, Roxon Engineering.
Wow.
Yeah, PZ.
Wow.
So many companies were using that software. So I also sold that one and then moved to Canada in 2015.
Wow, you're such a strong man. Because considering the antecedent of all of those success, like you have mentioned, it's not just the software, it's having that great number of vendors even using that software. So many people will be like, what am I even going to do in Canada? But I think with me, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, you have already given that background. I mean, who you were back home, right? Success is something that you have tried, you have validated, it's been tried and tested. So coming here to replicate what you have done back home, we wouldn't really be it won't be a big issue, which is the reason for me very, very fascinated with your story. And I do really like to go to the beginning. Where did your business mindset and financial ambition comes from? I know you have told us that since university days, even NYSC day, you've been engaged with business, and I can see. But again, what was your childhood life like? What really led to all of those strides as early as possible in life? Most people in their university day will probably be clubbing and be engaged with all manner of social things. I mean, people will say we live once, but for you, right from university days, you were already focused and doing great in business. Please tell us a little bit about your childhood.
Yeah, that's usually emotional for me when I talk about it, when people ask me about that, because it's usually like, it's not what people expect. When they ask me, why business? Why do you like business? Like, why this? is poverty. Poverty. Poverty is a disease. It's not a good thing.
Right. But it can be a great motivator
It's
sometimes.
a great motivation.
I love
for
that.
me. So, I grew up. I grew up in a place where everything you can see is poverty. But books transformed me,
Great.
and I decided I wanted to be different.
Fantastic.
So right from young, I've always tried to push myself out of that poverty.
Great.
And I found out that irrespective of where you are, you can do great things if you have that ambition. And I follow it seriously. I knew exactly what I wanted to do, what I wanted to become. I remember in our end of the year school book, people were writing where they want to work, Shell, Total, I remember what I wrote. I wrote that I want to build businesses.
Fantastic.
Build businesses.
That's
That's it, because I know my dad had businesses, right? But, I think he knows the answer, but he doesn't have the solution to get there. He knows that he doesn't have the blueprint. He knows that entrepreneurship can bring you success, but he doesn't know how to work it around.
Navigate it.
And get it there.
Wow.
Yeah, so I think I picked that entrepreneurship spirit from him. Yeah, but God helped me. I was able to find the solution to all those things that he couldn't find solution to.
Fantastic. So let me piggyback a little bit. So has it always been entrepreneurship, or along the way maybe you had done 9 to 5 before in Nigeria and you just felt after a while that okay, let me go follow my passion? Or how did you intertwine both together? Like I'm really curious.
Sincerely, I've never done a 9 to 5 in Nigeria. I only did 9 to 5 in Canada.
Look at that.
I've never
So
done
straight
any
from
9 to
uni
5
after
majorly.
NYSC, how
Yeah.
did it first? I know you have done businesses in school, but coming out of uni after NYSC, expectations are pretty always high within families and friends. Yeah.
That's good.
And I'm sure that in the first, second month, you might have received calls. So, what is the next thing? Are you writing an application? Those kind of things. How did you navigate it? How did you even make it appealing to families and friends that, you know what, I just want to go follow my vision?
It's never appealing.
Okay, let's get into it.
I'll tell you a story. So my brother, God rest his soul, is dead now. He would tell me, Akeem or Lenny. You said I'm very lazy. He would tell you that he's writing software, or he's talking. What kind of thing? Who does that? This is just too lazy.
Really?
So when I finished my first software, Cookbook 1.0, my first major vendor was VZ. Is it about with? I can't even remember.
How did you even pitch it to them without, when you're
tough.
writing all this proposal to those big names, they want to see who are the vendors you already worked for. They want to how did you penetrate?
It's tough. But one thing I do know is that, once you have the heart of doing something, you don't need to understand how it will unfold. Just keep doing it. Things would happen, and they would just bring you to where you need to be. I remember clearly when I wanted to market Cookbook, I did all my calculations, and I needed 1 million. I believe if I have 1 million naira,
able to push it to the market.
I'll push it to the market.
Fantastic.
So, just one evening, I've been thinking through. I've met somebody who is a bank manager, who is actually in my church, and I've spoken to him about it, and he has told me, "Oh, the bank will not do that. I don't have the asset or this." I've met somebody who works with Shell, who is a close friend, and I've spoken to him about investing in my, idea, and he has shelved it aside. I just walked into my father-in-law's house, and we were just talking, and he said, Akeem, how about your project? And I'm like, Daddy, I'm done. Oh. It's just marketing, but I'm working on it, hopefully very soon.
Wow.
And he said, how much do you need to market it? And I did my dots. I think if I have 1 million,
I should
it
be
will be
good.
great. He said, wow, that's okay. So what are you doing? I'm like, I'm meeting some people. I'm talking to people. He said, okay. And a week later, my wife told me that, Daddy man, you can send account number. Dad told me to send your account
And
number.
look at
And I'm
that.
like, for what? He said, I don't know.
Angel
Okay.
investor.
That man sent me
Wow.
$1 million.
What the bank couldn't do, because
I
at that
couldn't.
point in time, obviously no collateral. It wasn't even
Nothing,
appealing to
nothing
them.
to anybody.
Look
Got that
at
1
that.
million. I'm like, what? Is it real? We started marketing, radio and marketing. The first call we got was from PZ.
Look at that.
Second week later, we got a call from Total F. We got a
Look
call.
at that.
Just the call was just keep coming
Look
in.
at that.
By the time we finished setting up all those, major vendors, we're done. When I signed, I went to Lagos Marina to sign the contract for Total. It was 5.5 million.
Look at
And
that.
I came back to my Facebook and I put on my Facebook that today I signed a contract with Total for my cooperative software, 5.5 million. The first person that kind of,
Interacted with that.
was my brother.
Oh my God!
Said,
Akeem is no longer lazy. He's paying off.
Said, I know that you're going to make us proud.
Look at that! Narrative is changing.
So
I love that.
the most of the time, you will never see the end from beginning. But taking that step, just having that faith that it will happen, is what we require, and that's what we need.
That faith.
Right? We don't need to see everything. In fact, if you see everything, then it's not going to work the way you think. Yeah, you shouldn't see everything. The vision should be bigger than the way you think about it. As you keep pushing towards it, it unfolds. It becomes clearer to you every
So
time.
just take the first step.
Take the first step and
put
then
the first foot in the door, and it will keep unfolding.
unfolding. Yeah.
Wow,
Keep unfolding.
amazing. And I kind of like love beautiful stories like that, which is the reason I'm always an advocate of community pool fund, right? And I'm glad that with some of us that can resonate with what African stands for, you will know that we are really big and huge on this, in the sense that Africa is a place that you can come back to look for. When you run into trouble, I'm like, sometimes back in Africa, you might not even need a special emergency fund because you know that there are people you can fall back on, but over here in diaspora is a little different. And I know that a lot of people have done incredibly great things through community funds, through angel investors, from families, from friends. And I want to say that this is very, very huge. And I want to believe that in that way, what can you probably say about paying it forward? Let me put it that way, to the incredible community that we also belong to in diaspora. And I know that there will be one or two businessmen or even people at the idealist stage, and they're like, if only I can see a seed capital, if only I can have somebody just to really support me with $5,000, even if it is not coming as a gift, but somebody that can believe in me and loan me, I can see a ray of light. How has AjoPro maybe stood in the gap for other people, just the way your father-in-law stood in the gap for you a couple of years back?
That's a very big story, right? AjoPro, AjoPro has helped a lot of people. I'm telling you, sometimes I get calls and that will just make me feel like,
Almost crying.
like we're doing something great in the community.
Right.
Recently, someone called me from Toronto and was just praying. She was just praying.
Wow.
You can't stop Nigerian mother from praying. You just leave them. So she just keep praying. And I got tired. I'm like, okay, just calm down, Akeem. After that prayer, she said her name, and she said, I just want to tell you that my son just graduated from University of Toronto today. And he had told me that he used something you created in Canada called AjoPro
To be able to fund this.
to fund the school.
Oh,
And I'm like,
look at
wow,
that.
is that why you are calling me?
Look at that.
And imagine the number of people who have paid their down payment
Look at
on their
that.
houses, 274 last 2 years, right? This year we've not counted, but surely it will be
Look at
more
that.
than 300
Look at
people
that.
who have used AjoPro to do their permit. Do you want to talk about, people who buy cars, their first cars in Canada, I went to somebody's new house,
Yeah.
who of course use AjoPro too, and then I just went to greet, and I met someone there, and they introduced me and said, are you Mr. Kazim? I said, no, Mr. Hakim.
Akeem.
He said, yeah, you are Mr. I said, no, Mr. Hakim. He said, I've been talking to you. I said, and you have always helped me. I'm like, I didn't know. What am I helping you with? She said, they bought their first house with AjoPro, second house with AjoPro,
Look at that.
that they currently are thinking about, opening another account the husband is doing to fund something. She was
at
just
that.
explaining. And the person that I went to greet just said, anyway, this house too, thanks to AjoPro.
Look at that.
So there's incredible thing happening in the community.
Wow.
Right? Yeah, and I think we ourselves, if I tell you we really know how this is going to help the community, I'll be lying. We didn't know
How far
that it's
this
going to
will
help the
impact.
community like this. But what we do know is that we know that we can add value to people's life, right? I remember my business partner, the first time we talked about AjoPro, he said he has been here for a very long time. He's like,
Nothing
why,
like this.
why will I use it? I can go to the bank and get money anytime,
Look at
you know?
that.
But we now realize that it's not everybody that can get to the bank and get money.
Not everybody.
There are so many people who cannot just walk into the bank and get money. That's what we have seen. There are people who are struggling in our community that our business has been able to help, fund their businesses, start their businesses. Think about restaurants in Winnipeg that are starting everywhere. Think about different businesses that people are beginning to get involved in, and they need capital, and that we have been able to help to get them to that point. Think about even non-governmental organizations in Winnipeg that are starting up,
That you're
and they
helping
need,
to
and we
achieve
help
their
them to
mission.
achieve their mission. They want to get a lease, long-term lease, on a house, and we're able to help them with those money to
See
just
why I called you a community
get
builder, and I think you qualify for that title.
So there are so many things in the community that AjoPro has been able to. And the good thing about AjoPro is that it's across Canada, right? It's not like we're talking about the story of Winnipeg here. There are people in Toronto, there are people in New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, Saskatchewan, Alberta. Alberta is the fastest growing, place for AjoPro right now. In fact, we are flying all our directors to Alberta to do an AGM this year because of the amount of growth that we have seen in Alberta, right? So I think we're playing our part. We're doing what we need to do. One last thing that we're trying to push this year, starting in Winnipeg, is to begin to, do some community service, sponsoring some students. There are a lot of students who are struggling. So we're partnering with NAMI this year to sponsor maybe 7 students, but hopefully we are moving it to 2, 4, that's about 17 students next year. Yeah. So on every NAMI's Independence Day that we do, they're going to be calling those students out. We're giving them our bursary, our scholarship, and making sure that we are impacting their lives right from young.
Fantastic. Yeah. What a phenomenal work you all are doing in AjoPro. And I'm not kidding at all. When you were telling us about a lot of behind the scenes stories, some of the stories that an average user might not see beyond him or herself, I began to think about this saying that says that if each one can teach one, what a much better nation or world can we have. And I'm looking it back from when your dad-in-law took that gallant step in helping you and sowing that seed. Is helping one person, and that's dovetailed to helping a family, and helping a family have dovetailed into helping an entire community. And which for me, sometimes, some decisions that individuals are sleeping over and being like, it's not the right time, I don't have enough resources. You might just be sleeping over the destiny of
Yeah.
so many people waiting
Exactly.
in the community for that solution. And I want to say a
Absolutely.
very big thank you to you for being available to be used.
Thank you.
Because in purpose, what if you didn't yield? What if you had gone to the total of this world and to the ExxonMobil of this world? What will be the fate of several many thousands of people that have benefited from this? And again, thank you.
Thank you.
So I will go to ask about something that I believe I often call like automations, which is mindset. I can remember the story when you said on your graduation T-shirts, when every other person is writing all those big companies where they want to work, you had written how you want to
Yeah.
form
Business.
businesses. And for me, that kind of like speak to what is sitting in your subconsciousness.
Yeah.
Some of those things don't flow out of your conscious thought, no. They are things that are imprinted on your mind.
Yeah.
It's coming from the core of your person. So I am wondering, what are the habits that you have started embarking on early in life that started shaping all of these beautiful things that up to sometimes that image is already formed
Yeah.
on your mind. Can you tell us about some of those habits? Even if it traces well back to your childhood experiences, we want to know. I will be happy to learn.
I'll tell you another story.
Thank you. We want to hear.
So we like vacation a lot. My wife and I and our kids. So I think our last vacation was we went cruising on Gulf of Mexico.
Right.
So we branched a friend in Texas.
Great.
We spent some time with him. Fortunately, we met his grandma.
Right.
So as we came in, it was the grandma that opened the door. And she looked at me and she said, "Dictionary."
Dictionary. Oh my God.
my wife was looking like, what does that mean? So when we got in, I greet grandma, we played, so I was telling my wife that me and my friend in the US, we used to read dictionary.
Look at that.
So the woman, when I come to the house, she will say,
Look at
"All right, the
that.
dictionary, but today." So I read a lot.
Great.
I read, and I've read. Frankly, I know that I've read. I think reading is a powerful tool. It will take you to places you've never been, give you experiences you never think of having, right? It will expose you to life. I've read things about Rockefeller, I've read things about, big industrialists, people who have achieved great things. I've read their biography, understand how they move. The Man in the Machine, that is the biography of what's his name? Steve Jobs. I've read all those biographies. I understand their philosophy, their mindset, the way they do business. Those kind of thing help form those belief, right from young, right when I was very young. So, and I still do read. I read biographies of people who have been big industrialists in the world and try to understand their mentality, the way they think about business, whether I like them, I don't like them. I just want to read about their life patterns and how they do. So this kind of thing, I believe, is what drives motivate and form the way I think about things and look at the world outlook.
Look at that, reading. And in contrast, people will say that if you want to hide something from a black man, put it in a book. But I'm glad to be interacting with a black man that is proving that in the opposite direction. That, for my own kind of black man, put it in the book. I'm going to go unflesh it and we'll bring those ideas to life. I kind of love that. And I think there's another adage that says that readers are leaders. So I am not surprised how far you have actually came in the world of business.
And I think another thing I do that I think also helped is I like collaboration a lot.
Great.
Yeah, I like building a team.
Great.
You know, if you look at most of the businesses that I run, most people don't even know me. They know people who we are working together,
Look at
right?
that.
I think that's a very powerful thing to have, you know, the second side of you,
True.
right? Steve Wozniak, right, wasn't a great salesman, but he was the one that built Mac,
I love
right?
that.
But Steve Jobs is a great salesman, the one that people know about Apple. When they talk
The
about
face of the,
Apple, they will say,
yeah.
oh, it's Steve Jobs. But actually, the person that built the software is Steve Wozniak, right? So I like that story, and I use it most of the time, right? I have good friends who have helped me in my businesses more. If you look at, most people know Abiola Razak more than I do in AjoPro.
Right.
And if you look
Operation
at,
wise.
yeah, and if you
Yeah.
look at Butter, most people know my friend Tolu Davids more than they know me, right? It's just pattern that I built over time to look for great
Great.
men,
Great.
sophisticated people, to work with them to get things done.
Fantastic. And that kind of lead me to how did you even deal with the issue of trust? Because I know that in our community, trust is a big deal for people. They're gonna be like, oh, what if I collaborate with this person and I end up with a story that touched their heart? Or what if that person even played the first one on me? How did you even overcome issues like that? Because they are germane issues to people
Yeah.
in our community.
Yeah. But one thing that I learned very young, my dad taught me that trust is like a chair. You sit on it. If it falls, then it impacts your trust. So it has to be, it's something that has to be given first.
Yeah,
You can't,
beforehand.
before you can't just assume somebody. So when I see you, when I'm working with you, I give you that trust,
Yeah.
right? And I believe that when people see, when people come into you and see how you reason, you know, they they would want to work with you as well.
Wow, great.
So personally, I give my trust to people, and I expect people to trust me.
Yeah.
And I always say that when people don't trust, I say, if you can't trust yourself, you can't trust the next person, right?
True.
Especially on AjoPro, because we
True.
deal with money.
Yeah.
So many people, there's an issue of trust, right? But I always say that I'm not going to worry myself about somebody who don't trust me with their money. Can they trust themselves?
Yeah.
I've done this business for 6 years. We've done transactions
Right.
far exceeding $10 million.
Right.
No one single person has ever said, I put my money in AjoPro
And
and
I
it
couldn't
lost.
cash out.
No one person. So trust is something that has to be given.
Yeah.
And then when you give it out, then you watch and see. Just like Oyibo will say, believe and verify.
Wow.
So
Thank
I
you.
always give my trust to people and
Yeah.
then I verify.
Amazing. Thank you so much for sharing with us. And this takes me to another germane question, which is when you started thinking about starting AjoPro. I know AjoPro was created before Butter came
Yes,
later. And I know that a lot of people will be like, oh, we all have ideas. It's just about this money. Somebody that can come and say that, Akeem is lucky because he has a giant a giant man
In-law.
behind him. The wife is from an affluent family. Oh, the father-in-law assisted him. So, dovetailing into Canada, how did you do it? Especially now that we are not talking about millions in naira. We are talking in dollars,
Yeah.
at least in Canadian dollars.
Yeah.
So, how did you even work around your first initial capital? Because again, yes, you're a technology guru, but there are some requirements. There will
Yeah.
be some money you have to seed into the business
Yeah.
before the business starts bringing some returns, maybe even in 2 or 3 years. So
Yeah.
how did you do it in all of those days in which all you were doing is still accruing business development costs before the business got to the level in which it started breaking even posting profits?
Yeah.
In extension of that, this is like a 2 or 3 in 1 in question. How long did it take you for the business to start breaking even? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, frankly, the first one is always tough.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, there's no, there's no other way
Yeah,
around it.
right.
Like people don't know you, they can't give you their money.
Sure.
So it's going to be tough to get the first one up,
Yeah.
but the second one will be faster. Yeah, took me my own personal savings, my wife's personal savings, my friend who trusted me,
Right.
Topo Otubusu
Right.
and our partner, Dare Pena, to trust us with their money, with our money to start AjoPro.
Fantastic.
Right? But if you look at Butter Place, I wanted to meet, I pinned down 10 people to raise $100,000 to start Butter Place.
Yeah.
By the time I met the fourth person, the money is raised. So I had
Look
to
at
write
that.
email to the rest that, sorry, I don't need the money
don't need the
again.
money.
I've
Look at
already
that.
met my target. Why? Because they've seen the success in the first
You know,
one.
true.
Right? So it's the second success is easier than the first one. If I want to raise $1 million now, and I call people that I need $1 million to do a
Yeah.
business, and my business is making $300,000-$400,000 annual revenue, people will give me the money.
Yeah.
Because they see that, okay, he has
There's
a
a
business
proof of
there's a proof of concept, right?
Yeah.
So if you think about it, like we're trying to I was talking to my board and I said we need to raise money in AjoPro for our 3.0, and they were like, no, let's raise the money internally, let's not even go out and raise
Look
any
at
money.
that.
Why? Because everybody is seeing it, they are seeing the
Yeah.
money, they know how this is being
It
made, they feel
flows.
like they want to be first beneficiary
Yeah.
of this,
Before
right?
it's going to the
And
public.
there are people who will call me and say, how can I invest into AjoPro? And I
Look
say,
at
sorry, we're
that.
not raising money now.
Look
We
at
don't
that.
need it, right? So the first one is always the tough one. You have to put your mind into it and walk through that first one. Once you have that success, every other thing will just work out.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
I love what I'm hearing. And again, which takes me back to the issue of collaboration again. And I know that you are a technology person. Within the center of technology, you have put process, because I can hear you say, oh, in AjoPro, people even know Biola more than me. In Butter, people can resonate to Tolu more than me. That means that you are, it's not just natural that people are resonating to other people. It's a function of the process that you have put together.
Yeah.
So it gives me that joy that there is an African man doing business that is process driven rather than people driven.
Yeah.
And behind this, you have also laced it up with a lot of partnerships and collaboration. What do you think we should be doing better as solopreneurs or even side hustlers in ensuring that we can leverage on some of these principles also? Because somebody can say that my business is just me, myself, and myself. How can I even say that? How can I achieve this? Sometimes I be like, what about automations like chat box? It can be you, yourself, and yourself. But at least when you are busy doing something else, if there is a chat box, there is an AI that can attend to the customer, at least on the front line. So some of these blueprints or strategies that you have deployed, is it something that solopreneurs or even small business owner can also start implementing that can be beneficial for them?
Yeah, certainly.
Thank you.
There are a lot they can do. But I think for solopreneurs and then self-employed people, the first
Right.
thing they need to understand is the education.
Right.
Right? They need to understand the difference between a business and then,
Yeah.
on a side hustle, right?
Right.
And I think I also tell you a story that helps me.
Great.
Story helps me
I
to
love that.
pass my point, right?
Okay.
There's this great book that many people have, most people must have read from Robert Kiyosaki. He's somebody I read his book a lot. I think I've read more than 42 of his books. I don't think there's a
Look at
book that
that.
Robert has written that I've not read.
Right.
If somebody has that book, let them mention it. Right?
Oh my God.
So one thing that I've read in one of his books called the quadrant, right? So
Right.
that not the first one is rich dad poor dad,
Poor
right?
dad.
The second one is something quadrant.
Quadrant, yeah.
Yeah. So that quadrant, it started with a story.
Yeah.
It was a story of a community
Right.
where, there was a need for water. And in that community, the community leaders called people that, hey, we have a need for water.
Yeah.
And we want to give this business out. And two people came up that they would take the business. So they gave them the business.
Right.
The first person, once he took the business, he called his wife, his daughters, and his son and said, we have a business. Now, you take this, they have a pail. Go and fetch this water. They will fetch water from their pail and deliver to everybody's house. And they keep doing that. And they started making money instantly.
Right.
Because when they wake up every morning, they go fetch this water for people and they start making money right away. Right? The other person, once they give him the contract, nobody see him again. He just left the place. and we've not seen him for 6 months. In that 6 months, that person has hired 2 more people to join him to be fetching the water.
Okay.
Now, this guy, when he's coming back after 6 months, he had partnered with some conglomerate.
Wow.
And what they did was they just started digging hole and putting pipes.
Wow.
In the hole. They started putting pipe in houses.
Look at
You know, after 1 year, you know, they finished their pipe laying. They call a town hall that they want to open their first water.
Look at that.
And then they said that water will be free for 3 months.
Look at that.
And the water will be free for 3 months. So would you pay the person that is fetching for you any money?
Okay. No.
So after 3 months, that one has gone out of business.
Sure, technically.
And these people can just open their tap and run the water. Right? And now they can run the water. After that, he raised the money small, and moved that one out of business.
Look at that.
So that taught us a lot of things about business. That first, business is a system. Business is a system. That's the first thing you need to know. If your business needs you and you have to be there for it to work, it's not a business. It's a self-employment.
Right.
That's the first.
You're
thing.
just employed by
You're just
yourself.
employed by yourself. The second thing that thing teach us is that business is different from self-employment.
Sure.
Right? Business require other people.
Sure.
It's a team. You need to get people who understand finance, people who understand economics, people, and bring them together.
Sure.
Not people with your same skill, right?
Right.
Those are another thing you learn. So I think and you can also see that business is automation. So you can see from the point of the water tap now, they brought in this thing and they automate everything. And they were able to run those people out of it. So if you are doing something and you are not thinking about system, you are not thinking about team, you are not thinking about automation, what's going to happen is somebody is going to do that same thing and move you out of the market.
Yeah.
When I started AjoPro, there are people who are doing normal traditional Ajo. In fact, there's a lady that was doing traditional Ajo that I invited. Let's join me, you know.
Together.
And she felt like no, she's been doing it for a lot of years. I'm sure most people who are doing Ajo with her are using AjoPro now.
I know.
it's gonna just bring you out of this. So you have to think when you want to do business. You have to think of all those traits. That business is a system, business needs team, and then business needs to be automated.
Wow, fantastic! I love that. Business must be something that can that can keep running even when the owner is not technically available.
Yeah.
It requires a system.
Yeah.
And it needs automations.
Today I work 9 to 7.
Look at
I don't stay on AjoPro to make it work. In fact, in our 3.0, there's one of the biggest pain points that we have, which we do manually. You know, now we're using AI to do that same.
Look at that.
I don't need to be there. Nobody needs to be there to do it work.
Look at that. So. Can you beat that? I like what I'm hearing, especially that this is coming from my community. I'm a proud community member of what my community is bringing out. Again, congratulations to all the team behind AjoPro. We can see the good works, and we are super proud of it. Again, I would like us to touch a bit on some of the typical struggles that business founders, business owner experience. And it's only normal. Life itself, a friend of mine will always say that for you to see any life that is flattened or straight, that life is gone. It is when people die that you see, you can see that wavy light. So it means there will be peak and there will be valley. Okay. Are there particularly some valley moments in business that you have experienced that almost leave you thinking like turning back? So are there things like that you would love to share with us?
Yeah, I mean, if you don't have things like that, you're not in business. Yeah. Business is a roller coaster.
Yeah.
Right? It's like this. If life is like this, that's career. Career can be like this, but business is like this.
Up and down.
I always say that the roller coaster is faster. It gets you to your destination faster than the straight line.
I know.
Right? So for a good business person, that roller coaster is the fun of it. Yeah. There are times when we have a lot of issues. We believe that we're going to collapse in 1 month. you know, that roller coaster brought another enthusiasm into the team.
Right.
You know, we came at a point that, you know, the banking partners that we were having wanted us to give, for us to just continue what we are doing, we need to raise like $500,000
Wow.
and keep that. Don't touch it, too. Just keep it neat. You know, as at the time when our business was just making there 100,000 annually or something, that's a lot of money.
That's a lot.
But my team stepped in. We were able to break that jinx, right?
Wow.
So the the thing I see about it is that if your business is like this, that means it's not growing. You as an entrepreneur need to create that problem for yourself. Yeah. For example, we've been using 2.0 for 2 years or 3 years now. We're making a lot of money on 3.0. We should just stay there. But we create another problem for ourselves.
Right.
We want to do AjoPro 3.0.
So those artificial problems in
Yeah.
a way is leaping the business forward.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You create an artificial problem
Right.
that will cause that thing to
Right.
flow again. That
I love
moving
that.
down your speed, you go uphill. Those are the plays that get you faster to where you need to be.
Amazing. Look at that. I
So
love
those
that.
troubles, those challenges is actually what drives us to get quicker to where we need to get to than just comfort. You know, as an employee, we just want security.
I know.
We want comfort of
I
everything.
know.
But an entrepreneur doesn't look for comfort.
Sure.
He looks for challenges.
Yeah.
Because it's that challenges that will drive him to the end quickly than an employee.
Wow, fantastic. Thank you so much for this again. This is almost like a masterclass in it. Okay, so I'm just curious, just as we try to like begin to wind up in steps, can you tell us about some of the people that have really influenced you? I know you have spoken about Robert Kiyosaki, but do you have any mentor or like people will say that, yes, I have like a coach or I have like a role model, somebody that I've always patterned my life towards. Can you share with us?
Yeah, I have different mentors for different things. I have faith mentors, people who I pattern my faith
Great.
around.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Unfortunately, most of my faith mentors are dead, but they are books. And they are
Listen to them, yeah.
still with me.
That's the power of books. Yeah.
So, one of my greatest mentor is Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
Fantastic.
I love him so much.
Wow.
I've read so many of his books.
Great.
Yeah, and I pattern my belief system around his belief system. Another one is Dr. Miles Moreau. I met him personally. You know, he wrote something on my destiny, Akeem, die empty.
Oh.
So he's somebody that I also respect and have conversation with. That's in terms of my faith. In business, I love Robert Kiyosaki very well.
Fantastic.
And then some people that I love, that I pattern my business around, they might be controversial, right? But business is not it's not something that you put emotion into.
True.
You do business, a business, right? So I pattern my life around Robert. I love Elon Musk, unfortunately.
It is what it is. There are good lessons to take from his
In
business
but
ideology.
yeah, it's a process. You need to, fine tune the process.
Right.
So, yeah, I like people who are capitalist in
Yeah.
mind, but sometimes I try to. My own capitalism seems to have a soul in it, but yeah.
I love that. I really love that. Yeah. I think I'm a capitalist also, but again, I put human face
Yeah,
to
human
my
face.
capitalism, so which I can really understand how the hybrid
Yeah.
of the capitalism that you have maintained as it stands. Thank you. And I really, on behalf of, let me say that I'm representing the community of immigrants now. So I want you to advise us immigrants, especially for people that are looking to want to like start a business, or people that want to pivot from side hustle into full business, what would be your advice to them? There is this saying that I am fond of always talking about, especially in immigrant community. So, and is that when you know the distance you have to cover, the choice of the mode of transportation is important.
Yeah.
For example, if you want to travel to United Kingdom, you won't be thinking of scooters. You will not be thinking of motorbikes. Your best bet will probably to fly down there.
Yeah.
So, to some of the immigrants that are late, that have late arrivals, people arriving at 40, 50, hardly can people achieve their financial freedom with just a 9 to 5 or self-employment. It's tough. It's not as if it's not possible. I read the statistics. It's very slim. Only 2% will achieve financial freedom through paid employment. So again, if some of them are thinking of, okay, other strategies like owning businesses or buying businesses to be able to drive their way to financial freedom, what would be your advice? What should they do? Like, how should they approach this? What are the steps? What are the blueprints? What should they do better? What should they probably stay away from? Right.
Okay, this is a very tough question. And it's tough because entrepreneurship is not for everybody. Right? There are some people, they are just employee.
Yeah.
And it's a mindset.
Yeah.
An employee is not an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
There's nothing you can do. There's nothing you can say.
That's their default.
Yeah, it's just default, security. They just want that comfort. So I think we should break it into two. I would advise people who are entrepreneur at heart, and then also people who are employee, because both of them have a pathway, right? Let's start with the employee. I think if you are an employee, first is awareness.
Yeah.
You need to understand where you are. If you are 40 or 45, you know you have 20 to 25 years to work.
Right.
Okay. If you are making $100,000 annually,
Right.
it means the total amount of money you can make in your work career in Canada is 2.5 million. Now, you need to also say, out of that 2.5 million, how much is taxes? That's about 850,000. Okay. How much is your house? 500,000. On your house of 500,000, the interest will be like 350. That's on that 850. Okay. You see, that's 1.7 million, right? Out of 2 point something. So that leaves you with just maybe less than $1 million, right? Then you talk about eating, you talk about other things, you talk about credit card, clothing card, sending money to Nigeria and things like that. So you end up with maybe 100,000 or 200,000 by the time you are retiring. Now you ask yourself, is that the benchmark for Canada? Canadian government wants you to save an average of 1.7 million before you think about retirement. So you know you can't get there, right? My advice for you is this. You need to radically think about finance.
Yeah.
You need to radically think about finance, an alternative way to get you to where you need to be, right? And that would mean that you need to take time to study money, right? I would say that, there's a lot of ways, alternative way to get people to that place, but that person should start thinking about a lot of savings. And people say saving is not investment. I agree.
But it's a place to start.
But it's the foundation. If you cannot save, you cannot invest, right? So let that person think about saving 10% of their income, every year, right? And if you can save it for that 20 years that he has and can put it in something that can maybe give 7 to 10 or 8%, that should be able to get that person closer to where they need to be. They might not get there fully, but at least closer to where they need to be. For an entrepreneur, I don't think you have a problem. If you're an entrepreneur, the thing about entrepreneurship is that it will get you there. You'll get there. You'll get there. The good thing about business is you just need that first 5 years consistency.
Yeah.
And to make sure that you're making money.
Yeah.
Right?
Where did we all get this mentality of that 5 years for? Because I always tell, like, it's almost becoming a theory now. I always tell my viewers and also people that I mentor that if you start a business, don't come back to me and say it's not working. Give it 5 years.
Yeah.
Just be consistent. Keep pouring into it. Keep digging down. If after 5, even if you want to take any decision, after 5 years, come back and let's have a conversation.
This
So
is
when
the-
I heard you talk about that 5 years, I'm like, okay, this is becoming a science.
The reason is this. Most human,
Right.
we overestimate what we can do in 1 year.
Look at that.
But we underestimate what we can achieve in 5 years.
Yes.
So generally when you meet people, they start a business, they will tell you, oh, we're going to do this in 1 year. It's not going to happen. You will not even get close. But after that 1 year, second year, third year,
To shape out.
you will think, I can achieve this in 5. But in 5 years, you will see what you have achieved is far exceeding what you think. So that's the reason, most of us will overestimate our achievement in 1 year, but we will underestimate our achievement in 5 years. So that 5 years is a benchmark that after that 5 years, if you can sustain that business for 5 years, you begin to see a ray of light.
Wow.
Yeah, it will begin to happen for you.
That is huge.
And the good thing about business is a very powerful tool, right? I always tell people that whatever I cannot buy, my business can buy it for me. And that is the first rule of money, right? Don't spend your money on luxury.
Right.
Anything you cannot buy by yourself is okay,
Yeah.
but your business can buy
Buy
it.
for you.
Right? Your business can buy it. So if you raise that business, you nurture that business, it grows, it grows, it grows. What will happen is those things that you think you cannot afford, your business will begin to afford it.
Look at that.
A good example of that, why I say your business can afford it for you, is that think about Canada as an example. Many of us, you want to buy a car, a luxury car, we like it, Nigerians, right? As an employee, I may not be able to buy the kind of car I want to buy. But as an entrepreneur,
Right.
with one small business, I can buy that car on lease, right? And let's say I pay 10,000, 12,000 on that car. I'll be able to offset that car 100%. That means my business has bought that car. Because now I'm not paying for that car. I can afford that car, but I'm not paying because every single dollar I spend on that car, I can offset it 100% of my business.
Right.
An employee can't do that.
Sure.
An employee can't do that. So that's a very simple example of how your business buys things for you.
Wow.
You can't afford that car, but your business can afford the car because in business, government rewards you for doing business. So you use that car, you can claim that that car is for business. What then happens? You pay 12,000 on that car annually. 100% of that 12,000 can go for tax return. You can't do that as an employee if you don't have a business. Even if you want to do it, you will discover that there's no room for you to deduct.
Sure.
Because before you get the money, government has taken their own. But as an entrepreneur, you get the money, you determine how much government takes.
Right.
You tell government, say you make $1 million. You can go and buy houses and put it as expenses. That's an investment because you are investing your money. So you take that 1 million, spend it remaining 100,000. It is that 100,000 that you declare that you are going to be taxed on. You see? So your business has afford to buy money things for you. But for an employee, even before that money comes to your hand, government has taken
Which
their
again
own.
is like paying it forward. Like some of the good things you want to enjoy today, can you probably hold on to the rule of delayed gratification, seed it into your business, and that business can give you that opportunity
Back.
to have
Multiple times.
Multiple times. I kind of like love that. This has been quite insightful today. I think the last question I have for you is that how can viewers connect with you and learn more from you? Where are you hanging out? on the social media, or is it on LinkedIn? Can they find you on YouTube? Is it Instagram? Or better still, where can they find AjoPro and Butter online,
Yeah,
so that at least they can also begin to benefit from one of your
yeah.
incredible
AjoPro,
services?
AjoPro is available on uh, all stores. That's Apple Store
Yeah.
and then Google Play Store. Butter is also available there as well. Uh, for me, I'm not really a social media person. Uh, I
So
think
like
I'm only
most
on LinkedIn.
businessmen.
I'm on LinkedIn. I have a lot of requests. The first day, so my team decided I need the Instagram account. That I just have to. We have to brand this business around you. Okay. So they opened an Instagram account,
Yeah.
and the first day there were about 300 connect.
Wow.
And as I was doing my work, poop, poop, I'm like,
Oh my
no, no,
God.
I can't
Oh,
do
I
this. I have
can't.
to disable it again
Oh
because
my
there was
God.
just so much request, right? And
Yeah.
I can't keep up with that.
Yeah.
I want my solitude
Yeah.
so that I can think,
True.
right? So,
Yeah.
yeah, but I believe my team is working on,
Yeah.
getting us to also start like what the webinar that we do, try
Right.
to get it to people.
Right.
Yeah, we're trying our best, but I'm not really a social media person.
Yeah, it's okay. And I know that I think one of the African Mongo is popularly known to not be on the social media. In fact, he's using what teenagers will call a dumb phone. He's
Oh,
not even using a smartphone. And that speaks to maybe he also wants to maintain that level-headedness and also
yeah,
be able to concentrate.
you need
So,
to focus, frankly.
yeah,
It's too loud on the social media,
I
right?
know.
Yeah. I just need that quietness
Yeah,
of my
sure.
spirit many of the
Yeah,
time.
which is
Yeah.
very understandable. Wow. He's been nothing short of amazing in this episode today. So we want to say a very big thank you to you for
Thank you.
joining us, Mr. Akeem Adebisi. I've personally enjoyed myself,
Oh,
and I'm sure that the viewers also they are pretty much having a fantastic time. And to you all viewers, I also want to say a very big thank you for tuning in and also for sticking into the very end. And if you enjoyed the conversation, please remember to subscribe to this channel and hit the notification button so that anytime we post new episode, you can receive the alert and we can keep learning together. Until then, continue those money moves.